this morning after getting downgraded to a hold from a buy over at Stifel. Nicholas on the Cnbc Newsline is the man who made that call. Jordan Rohan, the media analyst over at Stifel. Jordan, great to speak with you.
Well, thanks for having me here today. I appreciate it.
In terms of the fear about Google, is that they'll do more acquisitions?
Well, not just that. Let's step back and think about the world. The growth in the world is slowing down a little bit all over the place. Europe, U.S., but potentially China. Consumers are retrenching as they try to pay down their indebtedness. Google has a phenomenal core business, but it's mature and somewhat cyclical. Our research shows that conversion rates for e-commerce players post-click, after they buy clicks from Google, and the average price of the goods purchased on e-commerce has ticked down recently. In the backdrop, you have Facebook out there with 25 or 30% of all internet minutes. As the usage on that site continues to skyrocket, the center of gravity of the internet is shifting to Facebook. And Google's out there buying Motorola Mobility, or attempting to buy Motorola Mobility, which in our view may be a distraction to the management team.
All right, so basically in terms of the slowdown in e-commerce ad revenues, that is sort of what is facing a lot of Google's competitors as well. So if you will, that is still a level playing field when it comes down to the slowdown, or are you saying that maybe Google will see a sharper slowdown when it comes to ad spend compared to its peers?
No, I think at the end of the day, Google's in a better position compared to any spot players in e-commerce. I would say the one exception there is Amazon, where Amazon itself could be a place where people search for the best price. The conversion rate that we're talking about and the AOV actually favors the low-cost provider, and Amazon is that in our view.
Jordan, you don't actually come out and say the words drunken sailor, as Kramer suggested earlier today, but is your bigger concern the bleed off to things like Facebook or their own internal discipline with cash?
My biggest concern is that Google's centrality, they were really the center of the internet a few years ago, is fading. You have an axis of real commerce that's developing around Apple and its incredible devices. You have an axis of social and media and entertainment that's developing around Facebook, and that could materialize into something bigger. Some would argue Amazon is starting to build its own ecosystem into something. So Google still has a great position, but it's now one of a handful instead of the dominant and central player on the internet.
What's your top pick in the space, Jordan?
On the large cap side, we like Amazon here. Even though the valuation is much, much higher than that of Google, we do feel like in a recession or an environment that feels like a recession, consumers are going to be looking for the best price, and that Amazon is this generation's Walmart.
All right, Jordan, great to speak with you. Thanks so much. Jordan Rohan of Stifel. Nicholas on the Google down.